Hi everyone, I'm Natalia. Welcome to my channel. I actually tried to record this video yesterday. It is overcast in LA here. It was rainy yesterday, and when I started recording, I started to lose nature light. So attempt number two this morning, today on Sunday morning, and I can see I'm getting much better light. Let me light this candle. I've been really enjoying this bibliothèque Bibliothèque by Red Candle. It has a very interesting sweetness to it. I think it's cinnamon in it. Can't really tell, but I've been really enjoying it when I'm surrounded by tarot. It's just very. I was at Nordstrom's yesterday and I smelled Byredo a candle called Altar. I love names, Altar, and that smelled yummy too. So I think that might be my next. So today, we're not going to talk candles. Let's talk about tarot and oracle decks that I want to share with you that are really, really, really amazing and fantastic for journaling, and especially going to be very helpful to a lot of you who struggle with journaling. Journaling is, I feel like journaling is a very personal quest into internal terrains of who we are. It's also a ritual, and it's also a personal space that one creates for oneself. I know there are a lot of people who enjoy using tarot and oracles as a tool for self-development, also love journaling. I know some of you are amazing at bullet journaling and do very elaborate, beautiful designs, something that I admire and love, but something that has never been something that I am naturally good at. Journaling for me personally has been a challenge. When I started journaling with tarot, my journaling for years and years was what I call pure banality, meaning I would just really write down what I observed. I got 10 of Cups, followed by Emperor, followed by, I don't know, Empress card, meaning of 10 of Cups, this. It was very surface level. I really struggled to journal and to go deep. I'm not a natural journaler. Some people, they just very natural at it. They sit down and they just flow and they can cover pages and pages and pages of writing. For the rest of us, if you are like myself, it doesn't come easily. It is a craft that a lot of us are naturally drawn to, predisposed to, and yet when we sit down to do it, we really struggle with this. One of the things that helped me break through that ice, break through that resistance of banality and get really, really deep are a number of things. One is finding journal size that works for me. I am a person of aesthetics. I have to really enjoy the paper I'm writing on. I really have to enjoy the size and the feel of my journal. So I settled on this little size. This is MD notebook that I just buy on Amazon and I fill it in. And I love MD notebooks because they come with stickers and you can mark this one is book number 6. You can put your start date, finish date, and you can put, I usually put down, here I usually put down some keywords that I feel like I'm entering with journaling. This one says death, changes, rebirth. And then I'll try to find where I got this cover. I got it on Etsy. I'll try to see if I can find it to link it below if anybody's interested. In case if you're looking for a cover, it has my initials on it, and I usually just put it in. So for me, this size really, really works. I sometimes gravitate toward bigger sizes, and then the minute I get them, it's too much. So I stick with this one because it has been working for me. And then my friend Barb introduced me to Beauty of Fountain Pens. And this is my absolute one and only. I have 2 of them. I have another one all in black. This is Pilot. I think it's ES Elite. I think it's called Elite. It's super, super lightweight. It's actually a pocket fountain pen. But when you open it up, it becomes a full-size pen. It has a gold nib. It is a fantastic, fantastic pen and one of my favorites. So once, for me personally, when I found tools for journaling that you can even just see me talking about this pen, how much I glow, I smile, I enjoy. So once I found the tools that I love so much, it made journaling practice for me enjoyable, because when I sit down and I see the pen I enjoy and I see the journal I enjoy, well, now I'm in a mood to utilize these tools. Now I am in a mood to play with them. And if you're struggling with journaling, perhaps one of the first things that I would recommend is for you to try to see if there are tools you can find that really appeal to you. Are you an aesthetic person? Is there a particular size that appeals to you? Is there a particular pen that can help you? So over the course of years, I always say, oh my God, I'm not a journaler. And then I have to go and I have to see what I have done. Now, keep in mind, these are all of the journals only in the small size. Before I discovered the size that I fell in love with, I have other journals that I didn't bring out here of different sizes that I kept over the years. But I love these ones because when you stack them up, they are like an archive. They don't really come in red. I painted these three journals in red. But you can see, I love this. This to me is eye candy. I love how this looks. You can see by thickness how much I have entered in there. When I journal, I also use Sprocket, which allows you to take images of you, whatever it is you spread you're doing, or whatever it is you're writing about, and then print it. And it prints as a photograph. I'll show you. And it prints as a sticker, and then you can just put it on. And that's how I document my tarot readings, as you can see. I love it. So I have been doing this for a number of years. I mean, in the small size, my first book dates to January 17, 2021. Oh my God. And the title for this book called Life in Pictures. I love that. Life in Pictures. What a great name. And yeah, once you journal for some time, the resistance eventually is bound to break away. And once it breaks away, I found myself getting into this territory when I could just free flow write, when I could just allow my mind to go. I seldom need prompts these days. Sometimes I still do, but oftentimes I don't, because I almost broke through the barrier. So if you are struggling to journal and you find yourself being on this banal surface, keep in mind, just keep going. For a lot of us, that just I think it's just that we are not predisposed to it. We're not used to processing in this way. I usually process everything within my headspace, or I process information by discussing it with friends and family and my husband. So for me to process things solo in a writing format like this is not something that I'm accustomed to. For that reason, when I started journaling, it was not easy for me at all. Because again, you're not used to processing information in that way until you actually become adaptable to it, and then it flows. So give it some time. And today, I wanted to share with you from my collection what I thought were some phenomenal tarot and oracle decks to help you, that are really, really amazing to assist you with journaling. Now, if you don't have any of this in your collection, don't stress out. Let me give you the criteria that I find to be very, very helpful for tarot or oracle decks that are going to be fantastic for journaling. In my experience, they fall into criteria number one. And sometimes they're lucky enough to have both of these criteria present. Criteria number one are decks that are very rich in imagery. They have images that are perhaps new or innovative. They're collages, they're vibrant colors. Maybe they're even abstract, or maybe they're more on the quiet imagery side, but it has images that are so rich in its offering to you that you're just really drawn to sit with it. There's some collage decks that I find that even though there are rich in images, they are too busy for me and I can't sit with. And yet there's some collage decks that beckon me to sit down with. So you want to look around in your collection if you're struggling with journaling and look for tarot and oracle decks that have images that beckon you, asking you to step into conversation with them, that want you to sit with them, spend some time exploring them. And I'll show some that I have that fall into that category. And number two, the guidebook that comes with those decks offers either specific journaling prompts questions or is written in a way where it allows you to take yourself deeper to explore all of the aspects of you as you journal. Sometimes we're lucky to have a deck that has a combination of rich imagery combined with a really, really great guidebook. Sometimes we have a great guidebook, maybe less of a deck. So see what you have. And I'm sure that some of the things I will show you already have in your collection, because I do have a lot of mass market things here on the table for all of you. But I think that this decks particularly give a really, really great example of Oracle and Tarot decks that are phenomenal again and fantastic to help all of us for journaling. Whether you're struggling with journaling, trying to break through that resistance, or whether you are maybe finding yourself in this time period with your tarot collection when you're feeling a little bit stuck. You have all the stacks in front of you, and yet you're not really quite sure how to use them. You want to find a little more nuanced way. You want to find maybe a little bit a different way of looking at them. Well, perhaps this video and the idea of starting to journal and going deeper within yourself using these tools is going to be helpful to you. So let's dive in. I'm excited to share all of this with you. So the first tarot deck that I think is off the charts, I would say absolutely fantastic, amazing for journaling. I think a lot of you would agree with this choice, would be Tarot of a Mystical Moments. This you can get on Amazon. What I love about this deck, the guidebook is not going to give you journaling prompts. But what I do love about the guidebook is that this is one of the rare tarot decks. This is not an oracle deck. This is one of the rare tarot decks that I find myself reading with reversals, because I don't read reversals unless I see in a guidebook if the creator has included reversals, and only if, for me, the meanings they offer with reversals are fresh and interesting and grant a very different perspective, then I'm all for it. Because a lot of times I feel like the reversed meanings are just almost like either if the card is what we call negative cards, it's a more of the negative, or if it's positive, we just now reverse to a negative. But in this deck, I think the reversal meanings are really, really greatly written. So if you have this deck and you haven't tried to use it as reading with reversals as well, I would encourage you to give it a try. I'm always resistant to use reversals because I don't know why. It bothers me when a card lands in reverse position. My impulse is immediately to turn it the other way around. Sometimes when I journal, I have to stop myself and ask, what am I looking at? How is this reversed image now looks differently? How is somebody now hanging upside down from the sky versus being landed on their feet? But this deck is fantastic for journaling because the images are so rich. It is, would we call this a collage deck? I guess no, I guess it's more like computer generated images, right? I wouldn't really call it collage deck. It fantastical, dreamlike images that offer so much contemplation. It takes you into its own story. It's almost like each image is a snapshot of a story from a card that really starts to get your imagination spinning. It has a little bit of a childlike quality, which connects us to that part of ourselves that is very creative. Oops, sorry guys, shaking the table too. Let me try this way. It connects us to a very creative element. So I think this is just, I mean, look at this card. absolutely fascinating. She's sitting on this big, tall building, and she's looking down at really all of the inhabitants below. So there's a sense of superiority to what's right and what's wrong. I love the stack. I have to be honest, I don't often reach for the stack unless I am really in a mood to sit down and journal a lot on it, because for me, journaling and going this deep into journaling and to explore images, I have to cultivate space for it. And I have to be, more than anything, I have to be in the mood for it. Now, another great thing about images that are so rich is they are incredible for free association. Free association essentially is when you're looking at the image and you are layering the image with your own associative meanings that you have to image. And each one of us has our own personalized subjective meaning to an association that we have. No two people are going to be alike. Everybody is going to look at flowers, particular flowers that are meaning of rib cage differently. And that's what's so, so great about this is that, oh, lots of reversals here. Let me get to here. You can just bust yourself open really with these images. The colors are amazing. It photographs well. There's just so much here on the table for us to explore. Look at that. Makes you wonder, why is she trying to hold on, or is she saying goodbye? I love this card. So this is going to be my number one, highly recommended. Any decks that you have in your collection that has richness of color palette, richness of symbolism, the more symbolism in images, the better, in my opinion, because I like always say, our psyche loves, absolutely loves symbols. It communicates in images. And so this is a great, great, great deck for journaling as a starting point. So if you're really struggling, I think this is the one that can really get your head going, especially if you allow yourself to just really open up and to start thinking about the images. And the way that I like to free associate is to ask myself open-ended questions. What does the color red symbolize for me? When I see twins, what is the meaning of twins for me? How are the twins connected to symbol of Gemini for me? When I think about Gemini as an astrological sign, what does the Gemini say to me? And just keep going and going and going and going. You'd be surprised what you find when you do free associate. So this is going to be the first recommendation, Tarot Mystical Moments. Loved stack. Okay, so let's do an oracle now so we can have fun, juggle around between tarot and oracle. This is not going to be a surprise at all. This is one of many Lucy Cavendish, and I always get her name, Jasmine. I always want to say Jessica, Jasmine Beckett Griffiths, fantastical big idols. I also have a tarot called Beautiful, I think it's called Beautiful Creatures Tarot by a different creator. All of Lucy Cavendish, big idols, any one of them, doesn't matter which one you choose, is going to be incredible for journaling. I think that anybody who has the stack and loves the stack is going to agree. The guidebook is great. The guidebook really, all of Lucy's guidebooks are great, although sometimes people say that they are a little bit more convoluted, I would say, maybe not as clear. This is also the deck that I read in reversals because her reversed meanings are so spot on. This deck is also one of my best clarifiers, by the way, as an oracle clarifier. Look at this. How can you, I find it impossible. I just find it impossible not to journal with this deck. How can one not start thinking about a storyline as you look at the stack? The only thing that I would say is different from this particular deck versus Tarot of Mystical Moments is Tarot Mystical Moments has more symbols. There's a little bit more detail, so there's much more imagery to draw from. This one deck in particular is a little bit more closed up, Les Van Pierce, Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. I believe the Shapeshifter Oracle. All of those have more details in them, but some of the cards in this deck, as you can see, some of them do have more detail to go off of, and some of them are more a close-up. But this is just like getting a page out of a storybook and asking yourself to tell a story about the theme that you're observing in here. How can you not a journal? In fact, there is a projective psychological test that's called semantic apperception test, which are images, black and white images of a theme, certain theme. For example, there'll be a boy that is really upset holding a violin, and you have a patient is asked, can you tell a story about what you're seeing in an image? And it's projective test because a person has to project themselves into the story in relationship to what they're seeing. And then a therapist is able to assess a lot of elements of personality structures. And it's fascinating. I cited projective drawings and projective testing. When I was in grad school, it was an absolute fascination and obsession of mine. So for that reason, I love Oracle and Tarot decks because that's exactly, they're fantastic projective tools for all of us to use. And we all can be our own psychologist. So when you look at any cards that are so laden with images, see if you are able to tell a story. What is happening? What is she doing? This is an Alice in Wonderland deck. So what is she thinking about? What has happened here? Is she waiting for somebody? See if you're able to tell a story as you journal. But Lucy Cavendish, all of her big-eyed adult oracles are going to be fantastic for journaling. And anybody who has them will totally agree because they just are. Moving on to a next tarot deck. This one, you all know, is my, I almost wanted to say soul deck, although Zos is my soul deck, but let's just say for a non-Zosi deck, perhaps for Rider-Waite-Smith rendition. How about that? My soul deck for Rider-Waite-Smith rendition, Circle of Doors. You know, I did in-depth review of this. I absolutely adore this deck. It has been ages since I found a deck I adore and continue to adore to this day. Absolutely superb journaling deck because the images are so relatable. The images are so soulful, so rich in symbolism of humanity and feminine energy and crone energy, and so humble. Humble comes to mind for some reason with this deck. The guidebook is, in my opinion, out of this world. So much in this guidebook to journal about. Not only is the way the guidebook has been written, but in a guidebook, you will get right here, this synapses alone will be enough to journal. There's affirmations for you to think about, and there's always questions, a paragraph of questions following the meaning that are fantastic journaling prompts. Circle of Doors, if you don't have it, if you've been sitting and thinking about this deck and you're on the fence of it, of buying this deck, I would jump on it. I do not say this about any other deck as comfortably as I say about this because I just don't see anybody regretting purchasing this. This is the only deck I have a backup copy in my collection. I love the keywords here selected are very different. Dark Mood for Three of Swords, so good, versus the Heartache. This deck is really, really good when you are in a headspace of an element of your life that is going through personal transformation. It's a beautiful, supportive deck when you're going through a difficult time, when you're going through grief, when you're going through the heartache, when you're going through loss, It's a beautiful deck when you feel disconnected from yourself and others. It's a beautiful deck when you feel like you are being misunderstood. It's a beautiful deck when you feel you are all alone. It's this deck, when I read with this deck, and each day since I got this deck, I've been drawing a single card as a door through which to go through today. It has been absolutely spot on, clear, and so supportive. Even the so-called negative cards that we see in a deck have been cards that are initiatory guides into places that we need to go to. This deck is very, very powerful energetically. I think it was created with such purposeful intention in mind. It really comes through. Highly, highly recommend for journaling. This is my absolute favorite tool for journaling. I can't get enough of this deck. It's been now, I think, 3 months since I had this deck, maybe 2, and it doesn't leave my table. And I just think it's a phenomenal deck. So that would be the second deck. Really, really good if you want to go to this, especially if you're in a difficult time in your life and you feel misunderstood. That would be a great deck. Whereas, there are mystical moments, and this one, they're both very, very playful, very well paired together. They make us feel like kids who are exploring things for the first time. You almost have to be in a playful mood to sit down with this deck. Whereas that one is soulful, comes to mind again. Soulful. I would absolutely call the deck soulful. The next oracle that I would recommend is, if you've been a fan of my channel, this is one of my favorite oracle decks that I have chopped. And I always forget the name. I'm trying to see, I think I have a guidebook somewhere on it. Sacred or Tantric or Sacred Dakini Oracle from Amazon. It is, as I got it from Anna Astrolator, talking a lot about it. She calls it kitschy. It's not only kitschy, it's all of that and more. As I always say, when I got this oracle first, I thought that the art was so out of whack. I thought that people who created this were probably high on some kind of magical substance. I love this card. I love it. Ha 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 ha. It's great. So good. And then I started reading the book, and it's brilliant. The symbolism peak. Look at this Holocaust card, which is a tower card. It's really, really good. And you can see, because it's so wacky, it is so, some images are so absurd. Look at this, a horse in a tree. There's such absurdity to images that it really takes you to a different place. You're starting to look at these images from a different perspective. Highly, highly recommend. I think this is really great for journaling. If you want to combine something with more element of seriousness and an element of playfulness as well, this is so good. This is a fantastic deck. I love this deck. I keep debating. This is the only oracle that I chopped that I wonder if I made a mistake chopping it, and I want to get myself version with the keywords, but I don't like having more than one copy of something, because I just will not use one of them, and I hate to waste things and have things lying around. But I mean, look at this. She's up in a galaxy somewhere, spinning her future. Fantastic deck. So highly recommend Sacred or Tantric. Look it up, Dakini, Amazon. For journaling, without a doubt, hilarious, funny, will make you laugh. This is the deck where even the seriousness of the situation puts a smile on my face, makes me realize that life should not be taken in all its serious forms as we often do, makes me realize that I need to chill a little bit. A great deck for journaling for that reason. Another tarot deck, I feel like this deck is not talked about enough. First of all, this is one of the most beautiful tarot decks I own. It is also one of the most moodiest. It elicits a mood. It takes you to, each deck has a different capacity, right? Tarot mystical moments have capacity to, for me at least, to take me to a playfulness, right? Circle of Doors just really connects me to humanity, connects me to everything else around me. Klimt, Golden Tarot of Klimt is a deck that takes me to a very beautiful, moody place. It's a mood. This is a mood deck, and it is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful. I don't think the gold, oh, there we go. It has gold gilding. It's so stunning. The colors are gorgeous. The images are just enough as starting jumping points. Now, the guidebook for this one will not offer anything new or anything interesting. It's a typical Los Caribbean guidebook, but I love this card so much. This is one of my favorite devil cards, probably because I love monkeys. This deck is just a whole different dimension. When you lay out 3 or more cards, it reads beautifully. It has such a beautiful, rich storyline. It is so gorgeous to look at. It is so luxe. And it I feel like this deck has capacity to really reach deep into parts of yourselves that are melancholic and connected to nostalgia and connected to some element of maybe even sadness, and make you sit with it and be okay with it. I would not really recommend this deck if you're going through grief or loss. I think this could just elicit even more of those feelings. I would recommend Circle of Doors for that. But for a lot of other viewing, this is such a great weather deck on a rainy, cloudy day. Oh, this sets such a mood. Fantastic deck. I feel like, this is not talked about enough. It is so beautiful. Sometimes I wish the cards were bigger, sometimes I don't. Just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous deck. This is one of the most beautiful decks I own, and this is Klimt Tarot by Los Carabea Amazon. What a stunner. Another oracle that I think is really, really great for journaling is an indie oracle by Melissa Lucia, Oracle of Initiations. There's a really big guidebook that comes separate with it. That is, there's contribution in that guidebook from multitude of amazing authors, including Rachel Pollack, our wonderful Rachel Pollack. This deck, combined with Circle of Doors, for the journaling of going deeper into especially the transformational aspects of your life. When you're going through the threshold of big transitions in your life, these 2 decks and combinations are beautiful. They sync together, they play together well. This deck solo alone is also such a powerhouse deck for recognizing initiatory periods in our life, recognizing where we're at, where is our soul evolution is at in our life. I love this deck. I know that this deck, a lot of you love this deck. Some people not fan of decks where the artist uses themselves for images. I am all for it. I don't mind that at all. I know Melissa really well. She's a dear friend of mine. I love what she creates. I think that she is really rich with depthfulness, and I think it truly shows in everything that she does. So I guess you can say I'm biased because I'm friends with her. But I have a lot of her other decks. I have all of her decks, and I guess if I was biased, I would be showing you all of her decks, but this is the one that I keep going back and back because this is just truly is a great, great deck. Again, really good for transformations in your life, recognizing where you're at in terms of your soul evolution, where you're at in terms of crossing those thresholds in your life. Where do you need to go? What do you need to hold on to? Great, great, great oracle deck. So highly, highly recommend. Okay, and let's leave it. This, I love making videos, sharing with you decks that I think are suitable for certain types of tarot readings, because one, I feel like a lot of us have a lot of tarot decks and oracle decks, and I feel like a lot of us who have gone through the period of tarot acquisition, right, are sitting home, we're looking around at our collection, and we really want to use it, but sometimes we get into blockages of thinking about them differently, or how can we use them differently. Sometimes we forget what we have. So for me, when I do this video and I share with you things I have, it reminds me how wonderful these tools are. And then I play with them again, and hopefully it does for a lot of you too, with the decks you have. Okay, guys, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm not going to count how many. Let's just have a nice long video, shall we? Another one that I love for journaling is going to be Tierra May's Ritual Tarot. I was sitting here thinking, I know the name has something to do with the keyword that is very specific to, but anyways, this is Ritual Tarot. Really fantastic collage deck. I am a sucker for collage decks, but I don't often love all of the collage decks. Some collage decks for me are way too busy. This one, I feel like just had enough balance. The color richness that she has chosen is really, really beautiful. I cannot wait for her oracle deck to come out. I think Tierra is incredibly talented. This is a great, great deck for journaling. It is layered with symbolism to take you to places to start thinking about what it is you're looking at and what they symbolize for you. It is great deck for projective associations. It is a great deck for all types of reading, transition aspects of your life, when you're feeling sad and alone, when you are grieving or going through a heartache or breakup, when you're going through a sense of betrayal, when you are struggling in your career, in your personal life, all sorts of readings. This deck is really, really good for it. It lays out beautifully. It photographs gloriously. It's a great deck. I love this deck. This is one of my top favorite collage decks. I wonder if I have another collage deck that I love as much as I love this one. I just love how her artwork feels so organic. I just love it. So highly recommend Tierra May Ritual Tarot. I think this is a fantastic, fantastic deck for journaling if you're struggling, any kind of readings. Great deck. So next oracle that I have two from the same creators will not surprise any of you here, because I speak about this creator, a lot of us do. Alana Fairchild. Love, hate Alana, love, hate her long, windy guidebooks. A lot of us cannot deny the fact that when Alana gets it right, Alana gets it right. Kali Oracle, Sacred Rebels Oracle, and Idos Oracle are three of my absolute favorites from Alana. I have all of her decks, including her latest, what is it, Heart Wisdom, Shamanic Heart Oracle or something like that, which I'm not a fan of personally. But you can decide which one you like the most. Racine from Owl Moon 513 just did another very generous Kali Oracle workshop for free on her channel. Check it out. Racine is very, 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 in my opinion, amazing at making those workshops, Oracle workshops, especially for Isis and Kali Oracle. She just knows this deck so well. She works with them and she takes you to completely different depths. And her workshops are fantastic for journaling. In fact, I'll see if Racine has created a playlist for it, and I'll link it below, or at least I'll link her latest video on this oracle so that you can have a link directly to her channel, because she's one of my favorite creators, and for a reason, because she offers very, very valuable content to all of us. Alana's decks are going to be really, really good for journaling because the images in her decks are great. The keywords in some of her decks, at least the ones I'm showing to you, are really, really good. Her guidebook, even the wordy, can be a great jumping point for you to think about your situation differently and to take you to a different depth. Great oracle decks. Alana, in her guidebook for this oracle, her guidebook for Kali and Isis, all three of those guidebooks are really, really good guidebooks. She offers a lot. I think some of them have even prompts. I really, really wish Alana would create, as she, I feel like, really, in my opinion, this one and Isis oracle, I feel like she really got the energy of these goddesses for me, at least for me, right? I really wish Alana would also, by the way, I gild my deck. So if you see them gilded, they don't come like that. I'm addicted to aging and trimming and messing with my decks to make them my own. What was I going to say? I so badly wish, look at this. Oh, I love this type of blue. I really, really wish Alana would create Hecate Oracle. Really wish she would create Hecate Oracle with the same energy and spirit as she put in the Kali Oracle. And if that happens, oh my God, am I going to be one lucky sucker? Alana, I know you're not watching my channel, but I'm just putting energetically, Alana, please make a really fantastic Hecate Oracle, and then I will never shut up talking about how great your Hecate Oracle is. So it'll be win-win for both of us. This one always makes me think of Rihanna. She looks like Rihanna, doesn't she? And Rihanna is such a powerhouse. I'm actually wearing Rihanna's Fenty Beauty, my favorite all-time red color. So this is going to be a hands down Alana's, some of her decks. You have to figure out which of her decks work for you. There's a lot of YouTubers who share their opinions, insights about those decks. Racine is one of them. There's a lot of other ones you sometimes won't know until you try. Some people don't like light workers. I think it's called light workers or something light oracle. I like that oracle from Alana. So you really have to figure out what works for you. But this particular one, Sacred Travels, Kali Oracle, Wild Quanin is another one, and Isis Oracle are my absolute favorite for journaling. You can really use them at any points in your life. They are fantastical supportive guides to be there for you on your journey, and they're great, great journaling points. Next tarot deck that I have for you that I also think is really amazing for journaling is Mary White, Mary L. Tarot. I have a first edition here that miraculously I haven't chopped yet because I had a version that I did trim, and then I thought, you know what, this actually wants to have borders around it. This one is my number one deck that I have that is the most mythological deck I own. What I mean the most mythological, because of course each tarot deck is going to be mythological because each archetype carries its own myth. Each archetype is a myth. Archetypes are myth-laden stories. What I mean mythological is that each card really has so much of mythological storytelling behind it. Some people say they struggle with the guidebook. I think it just takes time to sit with the mythological writing and writing that is embedded in myth. And especially, I feel that Marie White, she tends to extrapolate aspects of myths when she writes her meanings, and that can be challenging to read because you don't really get the whole story, you just get extrapolations from it. But once you get accustomed to reading it, it really does has a lot of rich meaning, so much symbolism in this cards, unbelievable symbolism, unbelievable color saturation, just such a great storyteller. Beautiful deck for all type of reading, beautiful deck to just sit down and dive deeper into symbolism. I remember how I sat down to dive deep into this death card and how I noticed here at the top, she has, what do you call this green creature? In Russia, we call them bogomolka. I'm missing out now the word in English for it. I was searching for symbolism for this, and the symbolism for actually trickery and deception. And I thought how perfect it was to have this here on the death card, because the death is a very, it's a very tricky thing. I just did a video for all of you on Pensive Past Tarot, and I talked about the death card there, and I shared a quote there from Epicurus that says, death does not concern us because as long as we exist, death is not here. And when death comes, we no longer exist. And I thought that I love that quote because it just shows you trickery of death and how we get so overwhelmingly entrenched thinking and fearing the ending when it really should not concern us because it's not even here. As long as we exist, it's not here. When it does come, guess what? We no longer exist. So I love that. So Mary L. Tarot is going to be another one that great for journaling. Fantastic deck for journaling. Okay, final oracle, and then I have two more tarot decks to share. Final oracle that is going to be so good for journaling is going to be Lantern Oracle. This is a really good oracle. It's a very good oracle for transformations, for any kind of life changes, passages. The cards are beautiful. There's some cards in here that are just very striking. I feel like this oracle sometimes doesn't get enough credit. It just has a lot going for it. It's going to be really amazing for journaling for anybody, not only because you can extrapolate so much from the symbolism of the card you're looking at, but also because of the way the guidebook is reading. The guidebook is very good for this deck. It offers so much. I remember when I first saw this oracle being introduced, actually the first person I saw share this oracle that I came across was Queen Ausent on her channel. I don't think Queen Ausent makes videos anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I'm subscribed to her channel. I haven't seen anything new. I really wish she would come back. Queen Ausent always had a way to introduce decks that, there's decks I call hype decks. And I don't use the word hype to imply that the deck has been hyped up and it's bad. There's a lot of amazing decks that are hype deck. What I mean by hype is that everybody starts talking about them, right? It's almost like you see particular deck and then it takes off like a wildfire and everybody on YouTube is talking and sharing, and we're seeing unboxing and flips of the same deck over and over again because it's so popular. And sometimes some decks are really deserve to be popular, and sometimes we hype up decks that maybe in retrospect not that amazing. And what I loved about Queen of Sand is that she had capacity to bring decks and share with all of us that we haven't heard about, that we're not really circulating a lot on their YouTube. you would look at her channel and you would be thinking, what's this? Wow, what is that deck? How did she find that deck? And that's what I really appreciate about some creators when they're able to share decks that we may not necessarily come across. I also really appreciate creators who are able to share other YouTube channels that are smaller channels that offer depth and wisdom. I think that's also really great. So this is going to be a Lantern Oracle, really, really good for any type of reading, and especially transformational type of reading. Some people call this shadow deck. I would just say this is just a good deck to take you deeper into yourself. So Lantern Oracle, another good one for journaling, also Amazon. All of these oracles, other than Oracle of Initiations, are Amazon things. And two final decks that I will show that I think are great for journaling. This is indie produced, but the Chase Tarot of Earthly Delights by Paula Millett and Reader's Companion book by Carolina Kennel with Paula Millett. This one, I think is a very interesting deck. I am on a fence whether I want to chop off the borders. Why don't you guys tell me, what do you think? Should I chop off the borders or not? If I chop off the borders, I will lose element of this absolutely stunning backs. And I guess if I were to chop off, because you see how the borders are, if I were to chop the borders, I would just make them square, like the way I did my toes. So this deck is so funky. It's very slippery deck. It has so many cards that are so funky. I have a review of this deck. Look at this fungi on the table. It layered with symbolism. The guidebook actually tells you why each symbolism was chosen, which is great for journaling. The guidebook is super, super great. It's good for journaling. It's good for tarot reading. I'm trying to see if it has any prompts. It doesn't, but there were cards in here that made me look at some of the archetypes very differently. And look how beautiful that is. Oh, the color palette is just gorgeous. Look at this. Nine of Air, which they renamed as Ether. I love it. This nightmare of having yourself trapped. Some of the, as I did in my review, some of the images are a little bit almost too what's the word I'm looking at? A little too literal maybe, but look at that. I almost want to chop it all off and make it an oracle deck. And maybe I will, because you know what? Sacred Authentic Dakini is actually organized as a tarot. It is 78 cards with some extra cards, but it is organized as, this technically would be a tower card. This is going to be, Queen of Swords cards in traditional tarot deck, but it's made as an oracle. And this one actually makes me think about doing the same. I mean, if you think about it, it does looks like a kitschy oracle deck in lieu, not in lieu, but on par with Sacred Dakini. So I think I actually might do that. What do you guys think? Chop the borders off and make it an oracle? Very, very interesting deck. Lots of very interesting symbolism. As you can see, lots of going on here. Somebody said it reminds them of a golden, what is it? Cat's black. I think it's cat's black. Tarot deck. So this is going to be a really, really amazing one for journaling. It is an indie deck. I'm not sure if it's still for sale. I think it is still for sale. So I'm gonna leave it out because now I'm thinking about playing around and chopping it off today. And if I do chop it off today, I'll share it in my Monday vlogs if I did that. the last tarot deck that I'm going to share that I think is really, really, really good for journaling prompts. You're not going to get much out of a guidebook for this tarot deck, but this is a tarot deck everybody loves. A lot of you love it. And a lot of you would agree with me, is amazing for journaling. It is our beloved. I chopped and etched mine, chopped borders, have made it even more smaller. Nicoletta Ciccoli tarot deck. Another one in the same ball game as Lucy Cavendish, Big Idols, and Tarot Mystical Moments. Playful, fun, yet mature, clever, lots of things to think about, lots of jumping points. Great to take you there to start really thinking about what are you looking at, what is depicted, what is the story here, what is she's trying to tell you, where is she in this part of her life, where is she in this part of her story. This is a great tarot deck for that reason. I love playing with it when I'm in a mood. It reads like a charm, and it's a great deck for journaling. I think, in fact, Racine may have some videos on talking about this deck, and also there's an oracle deck as well by Nicoletta Ciccoli for you to think about as jumping points for journaling. This is a really good one. Some people have a hard time working with this because they feel like it depicts little girls in an inappropriate way. I don't feel that. I don't pick up on that. That's just me. If it makes you uncomfortable, please, I would encourage you, if something really makes you uncomfortable, don't use it. There's a difference between a deck we're resistant to because there's something there for us to learn and discover. And there's some decks that which is genuinely, it's not for us, period. And it's not assigned just to work through that resistance. So these are oracle and tarot decks that I think would be really amazing for journaling. Another one that I forgot to add that comes to mind as I wrap this video up is going to be Brian Froud's Fiery Oracle. That's another one that is really great for this type of work. But really, any deck in your collection that is rich in symbolism and color palette, any decks that makes you want to sit down and look at the cards deeper and starts taking your mind into, what am I looking at here? What is this telling me? What am I seeing here? Why is this being put right here? Why is there a fish on a table? What is the storyline trying to tell me here? Those decks are going to be amazing for journaling. Any deck that has a really great guidebook are going to be great for journaling. Remember, journaling is not something that is natural for all of us. For me, it wasn't. It is not something that a lot of us are just really good at. Sometimes it takes time, and that's okay. You have to become adaptable to just processing information in that way. So if you love journaling and you really want to get into journaling, but you're struggling getting through that, give yourself some time. Like I said, I had banal journaling for years and years. I have journals filled with just observations. 10 of Swords means this, 5 of Cups means this. That's all I used to write because I just couldn't move past the barriers that I had within myself until one day I could, and now you just can't stop me from writing. So just keep it going, and you will get there, I promise you. So hopefully this was helpful. Comment below, share. What are some of your favorite Oracle and Tarot decks for journaling? Why do you love them? Which one on here that you have that you think are also fantastic as well? Do you struggle with journaling? Share all of that below, engage in dialogue, and I will see you all next time. Bye.